this presentation on iLearn Reliability. In this presentation we're going to look at why you should improve reliability. What are the benefits of reliability? iLearn Reliability is designed to help you improve reliability and actually does some other things as well, but I guess it's fair to ask, well, why would you want to do that? Just in summary, it allows you to increase availability, increase capacity, reduce expenses, reduce capital investment, have happier, better educated, less stressed employees, and improve the company reputation. Now, of course, in each industry, depending on how much redundancy you have in the plant and whether you're operating at full capacity or your situation is going to vary, which one of these is more important than the others. But this is what it can provide to any organisation. Now, to go through these in just a little bit more detail, we're going to use this chart, which is actually developed by Terry Wyman. We're going to look at the ways we can increase revenue and reduce expenditure. So let's have a look at this in a bit more detail. First, we'll look at increased revenue. We can increase revenue by increasing availability, and we can do that through downtime reduction and achieving design reliability. Now, given the nature of this presentation, I'm not going to go into these in great detail. We might cover this in a separate presentation, but you can always pause the movie and just read the slide in a bit more detail. We can also increase capacity through asset efficiency improvement and increased capacity by capital investment. We can also reduce cost through reduced expenses by reducing the labour costs, material costs, use of contractors, saving on warranties, energy efficiency, EH&S violations and fines. And finally, by reduced capital investment, by being able to defer or eliminate capital investments because you're extending asset life and you're getting the full capacity out of the existing plant. So all very good reasons to improve reliability in a plant. Jeff Dudley, who's a contributor to iLearn Reliability, was the Corporate Reliability and Maintenance Director at Dow Chemical. And a statement he made based on all his experience with multiple plants was that organisations with poor reliability practices waste 10% of their revenue, they waste 15% of their resources, they tend to disappoint customers, they tend to disengage customers, and they constantly deal with new and repeated unplanned events. So that was his conclusion after working at Dow Chemical in that senior role, working with so many plants throughout Dow Chemical. Here's some research from the Evidene Group research. Really worthwhile looking at the research they've performed. They do research on industrial companies and other things. So let's just have a look. So in this case, we're really comparing run to failure versus time-based versus condition-based maintenance activities. But if you look at the asset availability, you can see the condition-based is best. Asset yield, maintenance cost as a percentage of sales, the actual sales revenue when it's all normalized, the maintenance costs and total costs. The return on net assets, our market value and share value, you can see the types of improvements that were gained by going from run to failure or completely reactive maintenance through time-based maintenance, assuming that everything is age-related failures, through to condition-based maintenance on the appropriate assets. In another study, they described or compared the best-in-class, the top 20%, to the middle average or industrial sort of average organisations to the laggard or bottom group. And you can see quite remarkable difference in their OEE, the level of unscheduled asset downtime, a reduction in maintenance costs and so on. So another way to look at these numbers is to say, in comparison to the laggards, so they're the companies that really haven't adopted any of these reliability improvement initiatives thus far. In comparison to the laggards, the best in class enjoy less than 1/10 of the unscheduled downtime. They achieve 26% higher OEE. They reduce their maintenance costs by 30%. They outperformed corporate expectations by 20%. They achieved 2.9% versus 5.4% asset downtime due to safety or environmental incidents. They achieved 15.1% versus negative 8.8% operating margin against corporate plan, and achieved minus 8.4 versus plus 3% total energy consumption. So you can just imagine what that does to the bottom line of an organisation, customer satisfaction, how the shareholders feel, etc., based on that. Let's just look at a few other benefits. Now, I've mentioned some of them already, but a reliable plant has fewer safety incidents, fewer failures that could lead to injury, as in the actual failure of the equipment that could lead to injury. Less time working on machines correlates to higher levels of safety. Bottom line is, any time spent close to a machine or working on a machine is an opportunity to have a safety incident. So if we can reduce the amount of work being performed on machines, reduce the inspections and so on, intrusive inspections that is, we're going to improve the safety incidents. So it's more likely that jobs are being performed by experienced employees as well. So with better maintenance planning and scheduling, it's more likely that the correct tools will be used and the jobs will be performed by people who are properly trained with some experience, and therefore less likely to have a safety incident. Also, in a more reliable plant, it's less likely that jobs will be rushed, which again leads to safety incidents. Also, a reliable plant is better for the environment. There's fewer failures that could lead to spills or toxic release or whatever. A more reliable plant will consume less power. Machines that are properly aligned, properly lubricated and so on will consume less power, and hopefully there'll be more of an emphasis on buying energy efficient motors and so on. Less lubricant is wasted. We had one customer at one point who implemented condition-based lubricant changes, and they saved an awful lot of money just because they didn't have to replace and therefore dispense or dispose of lubricant. So that's obviously good for the environment and the financial results. Fewer parts and equipment are wasted. Same is true for production as well. Less wastage in production with more reliable equipment. And I mentioned this idea of having happier employees. Well, in a reliable plant, people can take pride in their work. They can take the time, do the job properly. When I say take the time, it's just things aren't being rushed because it's yet another problem. Jobs are done properly because they're properly planned, properly scheduled, they've got the right tools, the right people, and so on. People feel safer, which is always a good thing. That's because they are safer working in such a plant. They have better job security because the plant's financially doing better. They don't get called out during, family times, late at night, weekends and so on. Is less likely of those sorts of failures that require that call out. And of course the company has a better reputation and a better brand, which is very important, for the boardroom and so on. The company meets the customer expectations in being able to deliver product and deliver high quality product. Meets shareholder expectations in terms of revenue generated, costs reduced and so on. And the only public news is good news. So, of course, the company doesn't want to get in the news because there's been a failure. We've certainly heard of some terrible things happening in large companies, which has cost the company huge amounts of money. Well, that's less likely to occur in a more reliable plant. So, we could talk about this for a long time, but are we ready to take another look or take a closer look at iLearn Reliability? We'd love the opportunity to talk to you about the subscription program that we have available for iLearn Reliability, or if you'd like to take a closer look, we can set you up with a little demonstration account and you can take a look at a few of the modules and see what you think. So please contact us at learn@mobiusinstitute.com or give us a call, contact one of our resellers, whatever suits you the most. Thank you very much for viewing this presentation.